Hi there, welcome back to the channel. This is Michael. Today we are going to be doing a book haul video. Over the past couple months I picked up a number of titles. I've been trying to sort of, reel in my book spending, which I say every time. But I did do that, and I've sort of picked up an assortment of different types of books. Some horror, some sci-fi, and some non-fiction books for us to take a look at today. So let's get into it. So the first book that I got is actually a book printed out by my friend Jeremy Pillopo, and that is Void Birth. Now, Void Birth is a Ttrpg, which is a type of game. So this was written and drawn by my friend Jeremy. He runs a fantastic channel called Black Magic Craft. But yeah, this is his first standalone game he's done. He did one with a partner a couple years back called Idols of Torment, but this is his first sort of standalone one. This is compatible with the Morkborg game series, if any of you are familiar with that. Now, I don't play games like this, but I like to support my friends, and this is a really fantastic book. There's some incredible artwork in here that he's put together, and the storylines that he's put are lots of fun. It's sort of a faded dark fantasy world where there's monsters and there's a void and time works differently, and lots of fun. But yeah, fantastic book if you're into RPGs and you want to be creeped out. He did all the artwork and layout, writing for this, and yeah, support Void Birth if you can. And I just got this along with a bunch of figurines, and if you like sort of ambient, dark, and noise music, he also put out a cassette to go along with this, the Void Birth album. Yeah. Yeah, so there's a cassette for this. I think it is all online as well. Here, you can see that there. Pretty cool artwork. Yeah, the album is online. You can listen to it there, or you can order the tape. Go to his Black Magic Creative to give that an order. Highly worth picking up if you're into RPGs. Next up is a book that actually I did not pick out, but my dad bought based on a review in the newspaper, and he's since passed it on to me, and that is The Caretaker by Marcus Klyer. Klyer? Yes. And it is about a woman taking a job at a caretaking job that may or may not be on sort of haunted grounds, or the house is haunted. I'm not sure exactly, but this got good reviews. I plan on reading this at some point in the future. I believe it's a Canadian author, but it's got good reviews by Al Makatsu, Clay McLeod-Chapman on the back, so it's probably good. Those guys are good authors as well. So, and I love that artwork. I think that is really neat. Okay, so this next book is taking us into the world of sci-fi horror. This book is called There Is No Anti-Memetics Division by Quantum, and this is the book that came out. This is a book that is based off of I believe, an online book series. And if you're familiar with the Anti-Memetics Division, it's sort of like a world where there's like supernatural entities that are sort of ran by like an FBI type organization. So it's a book that takes place in a world where that kind of organization exists. For example, I guess you could think of the video game called Control, which is about a division that's looking after those kind of things, like things that have anomalies or power or some sort of supernatural capabilities. So yeah, it should be interesting. I like sci-fi horror. I've heard nothing but good things about this book. I'm really not too familiar with this online world that this was created from, but this is supposed to be really good, so I'm going to jump into this soon. Next up is an author that, for those familiar with this channel, know that I love, and that is Gemma Amore's new book, Itch, which is about, it's a folk horror about ants. Love the artwork on there. It's pretty neat. Yeah, Itch. They're in your head, they're under your skin. It's probably a better tagline, which I thought of, which was "Itch in Your Gitch," but I don't know if that would make for a good subtitle for a book. But yeah, Gemma Moore, I love her work. Everything has been fantastic that I've read of hers, and I'm sure this is probably just as good. But yeah, this is sort of falling under a folk horror, and I love the pink cover. And I'm not too familiar with what else this is about other than ants getting into your skin, and I like that. So I'll be reading this one sometime this summer for sure. All right, I didn't mean to do 2 YouTubers books, but I have another YouTuber's books. This is called Concrete Botany, The Ecology of Plants in the Age of Human Disturbance by Joey Santore. Joey runs a channel called Crime Pays But Botany Doesn't. It is probably one of the best channels that's out there if you're interested in botany or just general landscapes and old-timey rocks. But Joey is sort of a self-taught botanist who takes you to various places around the world, mostly in the States or South America, and sort of shows you the different plant life that grows there. And he does it with a very huge helping of sarcastic disillusionment in the way the world is going, but also, teaches you some important things about plants. And if you like to look at flowers and different plant species, this is a good way to learn. So this is his book that he put out. It's a nice hardcover book, feels kind of like a textbook, which I like. And I do recommend taking time to go check his channel out. And if you are into plants, which I am as well, this is a great book to read. Okay, next up is a book that I had to order that came all the way from Croatia. This is Elsewhere by Olga Karlovac. And this is actually a photography art book. Olga does black and white photography, street photography, but she does this really unique style that kind of creeps me out a little bit, so that's why I sort of picked it up. It gives me a little bit of that scary stories to tell in the dark artwork, but in real life photography form. So this is her 4th book, I believe, or 3rd book. I'm not sure now. But she does very stark photographs that are sort of tells a story, which I found these fascinating to look at. I'm going to actually be probably, spending time pondering each one as I go through it. If you're like photography, she's really good, so from what I've seen. And these are very nice hardcover books. I think there was about 800 of these printed each, so I would suggest going checking out her artwork, or go to her page. There's her name. Yeah, look up her name and go check out her artwork and see if you like it. I found it really nice, and I look forward to reading this one. I recently did a order through my local horror bookstore, Ravens and Books. Please go visit them. And I picked up 5 of the Paperbacks from Hell books that I am missing. As far as I understand, this Paperbacks from Hell series that Valancourt Books started a couple years ago, that they are now finished with the series. So there's a total of 21 books. I have most of them so far. I've read about half of them. But again, these are a lot of titles that I'll never find used anywhere around here. So I've got The Abyss by Jared Cunningham. That's a fantastic artwork. If you see it there. I'll try not to... That's my backyard reflecting, but yeah, there you go. We got The Legacy by Jared Cunningham. There we go. The Rapture by Thomas Tessier. Hide my face so that it shows up. Yep. Finishing Touches by Thomas Tessier. And The Farm by Richard Hay, or hay. From looking at all these titles, I think The Farm is the one I'm going to jump in to read the most, because I do like vicious animal stories. I don't know if that's just maybe the vegan in me that wants to see animals get revenge against people, but yeah. All right, for used books. First one I got here is Predators by Eric Sauter. Spoiler, I have read this already. I did a buddy read with my friend Alex over at the Bookubus. We had a great time reading this book. It is a Canadian sort of horror thriller, but it's involving a guy who can sort of communicate with wolves, and he befriends a pack of wolves while out in the wilderness. They are subsequently hunted down by some very cruel people, and he vows revenge, so he takes the wolf to New York City to hunt down these hunters. And yeah, it's sort of somewhat supernatural, but there's kind of a buddy cop action going on. And then the villain, Van Owen, is this horrible guy who is like, just like, I guess you would say screen time, the page time. Every time he's around, horrible things are happening, and he's a cartoonishly over-the-top villain, and you'll be happy when he eventually gets revenged. So this is described as sort of a Death Wish type series. In fact, Death Wish is mentioned in the book, so I'm sure the author had that in mind when he was writing it. But yeah, the whole revenge in the city thing, except instead of a gun, the guy is directing wolves to hunt down people. There's also a female character in it that is a little bit wacky as well. But yeah, Predators, again, give it this one a read if you like 80s horror. I really don't know what to say about this book, but I bought it at a used book sale. This is a DAW science fiction book. I'm just going to show you the artwork, and you guys can make a decision about what it's about. The book's called Hail Hibbler. So it's about a scientist that has been frozen during World War II and wakes up in the 21st century, which is now. So, yeah, I don't know. They don't make book covers like that anymore. All right, next up we have is Twins by Barry Wood and Jack Gleasland. Can't really see that there. Twins. Yeah, so this is the book that inspired the David Cronenberg film Dead Ringers, which I think was also based on some real doctors. And yeah, I didn't know this book existed really until I saw it on the shelf, and I was like, Twins, and I saw Barry Wood's name. Fun fact, someone had this before. It was being read by Maisie and Kathy, and they only made it to page 21, because that's as far as the bookmark goes. It was on page 21, or page 91 rather. Yeah, so I guess Maisie and Kathy gave up on reading the rest of the book. Yeah, if you've watched Dead Ringers by Cronenberg, that's a fantastic film, and this is the book that is based on that, or based from it. And so the last book I have this is sort of a special one that I found, Malleus Maleficarum, The Hammer of Witchcraft. So this is a Folio Society edition from 1969 that I managed to find a good used copy of it. I had to fly it in all the way from Australia to Canada. But what this book is the book that was used by like prosecutors that were hunting down witches back in the, I guess it would be like 17th century, 18th century, or even earlier than that. Yeah, a really nice, well kept up, well taken care of copy from 19, 69. So it originally was reprinted in 1968, and this is the second impression or second printing of the book. But yeah, the Hammer of Witchcraft was used pretty much to prosecute women and treat them, pretty much make them confess to being witches, and they were put to death. Very horrible time to be alive. But there's some nice artwork in there, and it has that nice old smell, which is good. But yeah, this is all a bunch of fucking Christian nonsense that was used to persecute people, whether it was, you know, women who just did midwifery, or like, you know, used herbs to heal people. It was considered witchcraft, and this led to all sorts of problems with people getting murdered. Yeah, terrible time in our society. Sadly, we lived through some of that. The ancestors of those horrible people are still around today, still doing the same bullshit. Yeah, so maybe this is a little bit of a know your enemy type thing. If I know what they're looking for, I can help save some witches. Despite that, though, I did recently watch Blood on Satan's Claw, and for those who haven't watched that, spoilers, that sword at the end was phenomenal, and I was like, let's get them. But yeah, that's another video altogether. Okay, so now that I'm done filming this video, I now realize that I've been staring at the monitor on the camera rather than the camera the entire video. So now, rather than film it all again, I'll explain that this is my first time filming with my new camera, and I'm getting used to that. So apologies for looking off to the distance half the time. So I can't keep eye contact normally anyway. So. Okay, so that is it for the day. This is back in the office for now. So we'll see if filming continues here or if I'm going to be back in the living room, depending on how things work out. But I've got a new camera that I can now take places and show you things. So I do have some videos planned, but getting around to filming them has been nightmarish, and just not enough time for that. I will try to get out into the yard to show you guys some of the garden this year. Unfortunately, my flowers bloomed, and I had about a 1 day window where all the flowers are out. The apple tree flower, the cherry tree flower, my Saskatoon bushes, my gooseberry, everything was out. Oh, and the lilac bushes were flowering. It was beautiful. And then we got hit by thunderstorms and all those flowers disappeared. So I can't show you any of that. But cherry tree, tons of cherries this year. Once those have ripened and come in, I'll go out there and take some photos for you guys so you can see how the garden side of Horror Gardener is going. Okay, so that's it for the day. You guys have a good rest of your week, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.